Welcome back to Vibrational Wellness with Turek Baptiste, where we explore the energies shaping our lives. I'm your homie, Turek Baptiste, spiritual advisor and lifestyle coach. So, this conversation has been a long time coming. As most of you know, one of the many things that I do is curate trips overseas from the United States to other countries for partial research purposes, but also to vacate. But my Ghana trips specifically are research trips. To date, I've taken close to 12 trips. My one of my most recent trips was a trip with a friend of mine who has an organization called Pink Pearl, who wanted to share and outreach. That's just the only way I can say it. Like really share and outreach and connect to some of the women there on more of a personal level. Typically, when I take my groups, we have an opportunity to go to a local school, but with this specific group, we didn't have a chance to get to the school. We were able to get to an orphanage, and this young lady's organization did a phenomenal job with providing supplies for not only the little girls but um, the boys as well. With my trips, I try to center my Ghana trips around, like I said, um, information and connecting to our culture by way of history. So this specific group that I took on was my only all female group. So I was literally the only
Don't do
guy with the exception of my driver and one of my liaisons. I cannot say that it was a difficult trip at all. It was one of my lighter trips. I was nervous as hell because again, it was all ladies. So I really thought it was gonna go left, but it stayed right the
Sure.
entire time. So let's bring Tissanie on.
hello,
Welcome to the show.
hello. Hey, hey.
Hope everything has been swell and well with you. Okay.
Hello. Thanks for having. Yeah, this is very long overdue. Very long overdue. But I still talk about the trip and just, it was amazing. So
One
yeah.
story I always have to tell whenever we're on, and it always sits um, at the forefront of my conscious mind whenever we're on, is years ago. Let's see, my grandmother passed away 2014, and she passed away, or her services were literally a month to date of my birthday. And most people who know me know that I don't really put a whole lot of stock in my birthday. After maybe my 30th birthday, I decided to, wherever I was currently on that day, to travel just for some sort of adventure. But I'm not really that person, like, if you text me instead of call me, I'm tripping. Or if you forget to text me, not really kind of wound up with birthdays like that. So my grandmother had passed away the very end of August, and her services were a month to the date of my birthday. And if you know anything about grief, there are five stages, but everyone experiences those stages at different sequences, right? Where you could start your grief just at depression.
Yeah. Yeah.
When my father passed away, my grief started at anger.
Yeah.
Like I was wound the F up.
Yeah.
So with my grandmother, she lived with me, and she passed on, and I was in the house really, when I think back, just trying to figure out what was next
Hmm.
with that type of, and I don't like to use the word loss, I'll say transition.
Transition. Me too.
And I was sitting, I would never forget it. It was the night of my birthday. And I was just sitting in there. It's like I was just sitting there. And I think it was you that texted me first. And you was like, "Oh my God, what are you doing for your birthday?" Nothing. I'm up in here trying to figure out what the hell is going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're like, "You're not doing anything for your birthday?" No. You was like, "Get dressed." Okay. And at the time, I want to say Tori had texted me too, like, um, get dressed. Don't wait till we get there to get dressed. Something like that, right? I will. And y'all came and picked me up. We went to like it's like a billiards type place,
Hmm.
but real like upscale. It was bowling and billiards. I think it was some sort of performance going on. And
Yeah.
my birthday is in the fall, so it was kind of like just regular decent weather. And the three of us went there and had the time of our lives. We had a ball. I think I still have pictures from that day. So we hung out. We didn't even have a conversation about my grandmother. It was just birthday time.
Yeah.
And I remember getting back home and walking back into the house and feeling the energy that was inside of the house and feeling how different it was from what I just experienced. And I
Mm.
realized in that moment that I
Mm.
was in the depression stage of
Yeah.
grief.
Yeah.
And where most people may start with denial, most people may start with anger, I immediately went into depression.
Mm.
And apparently, it was my time to at least graduate from that one
Yeah.
stage to another stage because y'all came and got me out of the house. It was my birthday. And I remember going back and saying, okay, it's been a month. Now you have to clean out her room. And I started cleaning out her room that night. Within maybe 2 to 3 days, I definitely shifted into a different place. I definitely come out of that depression. So I always lay that to your account. Like you hooked the nigga up because yo, I was just in there just sitting, like the lights were on,
Yeah.
but nobody
I
really
didn't even
taking me
realize the
home.
backside of that. I've never heard the backside of that story of that awareness and shift happening after that. But to us, it was just, we are celebrators of life and just loving on people. So we were like, let's do it. We about to ride out, and we live in the way burbs of the opposite side, but we were like, let's
Waybird.
get on this highway. We're about to jump on this highway. We're about to go love on him, and he doesn't have a choice. He coming. So you're right, and we had a ball. So I'm just happy we were able to provide you that energy in that moment to get you out of that.
So I always love to share that story because it speaks to community,
Hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
as much as, we throw around the word introvert, everybody's something different every
Yeah.
other week.
Yeah. For sure.
In order to gain perspective, community, and
Hmm.
community doesn't have to be 5, 10, 15 people. It can be two other
Uh-uh.
people.
Yeah.
So I really like to attribute that to community
Yeah.
and realizing that on some level, I don't care who it is, you need at least one other person. So we're going to have a conversation about this trip. We had 6 people, 6 women,
Five. Five.
5.
Yeah.
So typically how my trips work, at first when I first started, I would schedule a trip and then whoever wanted to come along would come along, and I would schedule from there. That started becoming problematic. So then I started to, I'll say, exclusively curate trips for groups.
Hmm. Yeah.
So in order to take a group, you would have to have 6 people or more. And if we're specifically going to Ghana, we're kind of dealing with a specific type trip, altering
Yeah.
it, to the
Hmm.
group's discretion. This group, I think yeah. So I had a trip coming up, but I ended up kind of fast forwarding it. It was maybe like 8 days, and I think we kind of only went to 5. And then you and I were already talking, and I was like, well, let's get the group together. And once we have it together, we can go ahead and knock it out. So
Yeah.
when we were first in that planning stage, I'm gonna say this. What was going on with the group? I like the behind the scenes. Tell me something I don't know what's happening.
You know how it is, I mean, because really I had the expectation of like bringing 10 people, right?
Okay.
To backtrack, I had already gone to Ghana on a solo trip that was also curated. So I wanted to go back and I wanted to bring my group of women with me and experience it all over again with them because there's just something about touching the African soil that has just like ancestral magic to it.
Yes.
And I'm like, yo, I want to bring my people back with me. And it always starts to excited Africa. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think the stigma is gone now, where people are like, I ain't going there. Now everybody's like, yeah, I want to go. I want to go. And so it started off with a big group, but as we began to plan, people kind of drop off. People have stuff going on. It's kind of hard because you do have to allocate enough time to make sure that you're having an experience. So I think ours ended up being 9 or 10 days or something like
10
that
days.
because you have to account for the 2 days of travel. And so for some of my folks, getting babysitters that long or whatever, trying to get off of work, the time off, you really have to save up and prepare for that. And I think that it's not that I'm last minute, but I was just kind of like, yo, we're going to Africa this week. So it's like, if you got it, PTO, you better save it up, right? Um, so yeah, and I think people just kind of trying to kind of trick it off then. And it was even people at the last minute, I was like, I'm going, I'm not going, I'm going, I'm not going. So, but it didn't matter because I'm a believer of, hey, it's for who it's for. We're going to have an amazing time. But the group themselves, I already, told them like, hey, I'm on a mission. Yes, we're going to Africa. We're going to see Africa. We're going to learn. We're going to grow. We're going to do all the things. But a big part of what I want to do is serve too. So, get some supplies, menstrual supplies, and we're going to create these bags and we're going to actually go give them to the people. And this group, I mean, they were ecstatic about it. They were like, yes, we want to. So they were, we put all our stuff together. You bring this, you bring that, you bring that. Lots of coordination. With girls' trips, it's always like, what kind of outfit? Okay, what that I need to know the exact day and time. Do I need to switch outfits?
And see,
If we
I
got to
didn't
do photo
even.
ops. So
This is why I like the behind the scenes. You feel me?
yeah, yeah,
Because I'm planning the trip just on my end based on my previous trips.
yeah.
Y'all done damn worked y'all girl trip element already into it. So one thing I was just so taken back from, it had to be like the second day.
Hmm.
Um, that second night, you guys were down on the first level. Now, first, the house that I had 3 houses in my arsenal,
Yeah,
and my last choice was the only choice left.
yeah,
So this specific house has upstairs, downstairs,
yeah.
and they're separate from each other.
Hmm.
So I had most of you guys on the floor level, and I remember coming downstairs like they down there lit. It's about 10 o'clock. I get downstairs and there's pink bags everywhere. There's feminine products. There's brand new feminine underwear, female underwear,
Yeah.
um, sanitary products.
Yeah.
And y'all were really, I think we have a photo and some videos.
Yeah.
Y'all were
Yeah.
really putting in the time behind the scenes to create these care packages.
Oh yeah.
And at the time, I had still been going back and forth with the one principal from Run School that, we were going to go to originally. And we found out that the school really wasn't even in existence. Like,
Yeah.
it hadn't
Yeah.
had a building for like 4 years. So,
Yeah.
we weren't going to try to bring any children to meet in a lot. So that really motivated me to find a place that was, I'll say, deserving and
Hmm.
that would accept like all this effort y'all put in. Like y'all brought all of this shit from
Yeah.
overseas. Um, I had another group where before we went to the school, they wanted to donate like school supplies.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was thinking that we were going to stop and pick some stuff up on the way to the
Mhm.
school. Nah, each one of these people traveled with an extra suitcase that they paid
Oh
for
yeah.
that was
Yeah.
full of school supplies. So it always
Absolutely.
amazes me how, especially our culture, once we get there, it's
Hmm.
almost like we know what's needed. We have this
Yeah.
intuitive sense of what's needed. So
Yeah.
that took my respect level up for your organization way past the meter, right? To be up at 10, 11 o'clock at night after flying across this time zone,
Yeah.
because no matter how many times I go to Ghana, that time zone kicks my ass. I have to take a day to just recalibrate.
Yeah.
But
Oh
y'all
yeah,
was
for
up
sure.
with these bags, getting them cracking. So tell us a little bit about Pink Pearl and
Yeah.
what the motivation behind it was initially for starting.
Yeah. So for my 35th birthday, I went to Ghana for the year of the return, right? Solo trip with a curated group. Nobody, I didn't know anyone, all the things, but they really had us in the community. And what we came to find out was that girls in well, this is Accra, Ghana, specifically had to miss school because of their menstrual supply, because they're on menstruation. They were scrutinized. They were highly taxed on supplies and couldn't afford the supplies. And so they would have to, it's almost like shamed almost. And so there's a dignity piece that I was like, it just kind of hit deep for me. It's just like, in America, it's kind of a weird thing because a lot of girls come into their womanhood and a lot of little young girls don't even have the conversations with their parents, right? And so
Mm,
they're learning and navigating it, and there's just kind of this shame almost about it, as opposed to in an empowerment about it. Um, and it's because of the lack of education and making sure that you feel that this is kind of like a badge of honor and not necessarily something to be shameful about. And we've all had our like shameful moments when it comes to our
mhm.
menstruation, but the thought of, oh, they can't even get to school or they can't even afford the supplies, right? That just kind of broke my heart. And so for me, I had thought of, okay, we were thinking about just community initiatives that they can do to support them. But okay, when I leave this and go home, what else can I do to make young women feel empowered? And I really wanted to keep that going. And I sat on it for a little bit. So that was 2019, 2024, or even 2024, I think we went back. And from then I was like, okay, it's in my spirit and my soul is telling me you need to do more with this. And so I was like, all right, I want to go back. I want to create this as a real organization. Let's go ahead and do this, right? Not only do I want to take people back to Africa just to see the people, the land, the culture, whether you truly know your true ancestry or not, you must go to Africa. OMG. Okay. It's soul changing. And
It
so,
is, I feel like it is imperative, if you have, we'll just use the term black. If you got
oh
any
yeah.
black in you as a quote unquote American,
Yeah, right.
it is
And
imperative to take that trip, even if it's one time, to
yeah,
Ghana. to see
Yep.
those
Yep.
slave castles,
Oh my
to
gosh.
put your foot on that land. Um,
Hmm.
there is such a connectivity
Yes.
that's there
Yes.
once you connect with that land. Even getting off the plane, stepping outside for that first time in that airport,
Hmm.
although Ghana airport is, you feel
Yeah.
me, Ghana's
Yeah.
airport, but
It's a
stepping
beautiful
outside into
chaos.
that
It's a
air that
beautiful
first time.
chaos. Yeah, it's a beautiful chaos. I call
Yeah.
it the beautiful chaos because it is a culture shock. And I think people are afraid of the culture shock of, okay, when I get there, what can I expect? And they're more anxious about that. And instead of just being present, and it's just like, this is their world, this is their
Yes.
norm.
And you're
Come in with an
stepping
open
inside of
mind.
their world.
You're stepping inside of their world. And so
So going
come
with
with
the
them.
expectation of your world or
Yes.
America.
Yes. And then you're comparing the whole time, and it's like that's not what it's for. It's for you to come and experience their world. You hit it right on the head. And I think it also satisfies this deep cultural void we have in the United States, right?
Mhm.
It's like, yes, we know about slavery and we're descendants from Africa and things like that. And so we don't have a sense of knowing exactly, I'm from specifically here and I'm from specifically here. And so when you do go back, although I don't know if I'm getting in or not, but I know that when my feet touched that ground and I was surrounded by that love and that vibration of people, I felt connected. Like I felt immediate connection, right? And so that feeling, I was like, whoa, like I want to keep coming back. I want to keep coming back. So yeah, that pretty much sparked, and the idea of starting the organization, bringing more people over. So, and that's just the goal.
So that's been my goal as well, to get as many people face to face with those castles as
Yes,
possible. Um,
yes,
because there hasn't been one time that I've taken a group and they've gone to that first castle where everyone was touched. And
hmm,
and even on different levels.
yeah,
But there's a change or a shift in your energy that happens your
yeah,
first time stepping foot. And it's not so much about saying, okay, I'm at this castle.
yeah,
It's the actual physical energy that you feel on the
yes,
land there.
yes,
You can't buy it, and it's not something that you can manufacture as an experience to bring it to America. You got to go to where they are
yeah,
and live in their
yeah.
world and experience them as a people, and
Hmm.
that itself connects you to the history.
Oh my goodness. And it was the authenticity of the castles. They're still the original everything, right? And so for you not to feel something, when people were walking through there and they didn't have any expression, or I was like, you're not really present to feel what this is. You're not really understanding the levels of what's happening here. Your ancestors were in these buildings. They have the original scratches on the rocks. They
Yes.
have the original bones and their the bones and their blood. It's
Yes.
still on the ground. It's like a
Yes.
thick layer. They have not touched it, right?
Yes.
And so it's for them to preserve that history in a way where when we go over there and we're able to feel that, for me, I'm pro black. Okay. All day long, right? And I'm pro love too and all the things. But when we go there, there's something in you that resonates through your whole spirit in that
Hmm.
castle where you realize, wow, we are so powerful as a
Hmm.
people. If
Hmm.
if my ancestors were made it out a room this big, stayed there for months, then shifted to another room for months, and then traveled in a overseas for months, right? And then it's like the strongest of the strongest of the strongest
Could
survive
only
this.
survive. Like
And
it.
who am I? Right?
Yes.
Like I am. the
Yes.
descendant of the strongest in the
Yes.
world.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was like, and I felt that brought me to tears. Like, you can't tell me we can't do shit. Okay.
And remember the lady. So typically I try to set up private tours for the
Hmm.
castle. And we were able to do it for the second castle for Cape Coast, but Elmina, they were popping that day.
Yeah.
So we kind of had to work in with a smaller group. Remember the lady, the tour guide was taking us through the map and he
Yeah.
was walking us through the different invasions from the Portuguese to the
Hmm.
Dutch, the
Yes.
British, and he was breaking down how no, this wasn't no easy fight, nigga. Like
This
it
was
wasn't. Did
yeah.
nobody just come over across the water and put fops on us and then it's done? Nah, this
Yeah.
had been happening, right? And we were
Yeah.
fighting them off, and it took them to combine to
Yeah.
actually bring what they call the fire stick, which is the gun.
Yeah.
It took those different groups to
Hmm.
combine and then come across the water with guns and
Yes.
cannons
Yes.
to even penetrate that first
Yes.
layer. And
Yep.
then we start making cannons like you got us messed up.
You got
We
us
can
messed
shoot
up.
the ball out of the cannon too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he was walking through that history.
Yeah.
And remember, it was the little group, the little three people there, and the lady was like, "But now, and then he'd say something else, and she like, "How are you disagreeing with the tour guide? Didn't you
Yeah.
come here to learn this?
To learn.
Because you're wrong. The
Be
the
like,
the
shut up.
history that you're giving, you're completely
Yes.
off."
Yes.
But to me, that really spoke to the level of disinformation that
Oh
we
yeah.
have in America,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And being
Yes.
so confident with that disinformation,
Hmm.
but then
Yeah.
being able to go to a place like that and actually
Yeah.
get the facts. That's
Get the
what
fact.
really motivated me to want to curate that specific trip and take people there because of the experience I had. My first
Mm-hmm.
time going to Ghana, I knew my shit. I had like 6 books. I'm like, "Yeah, cousin, 18, you feel me?" Got to that first castle, I'm like, "Yeah," because he's like, "No, no, no, brother. No, 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 no." And I had to deprogram
Yeah.
from what I thought I learned, which in America was valid and in some circles, valuable information.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
a complete farce.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what are some of the truths that you learned while I'll say
Yeah.
specifically in the castles, in Cape Coast Castle and then Elmina Castle, which is the very first slave castle?
Well, going into it, you have to be so open that everything that you learn is just a fallacy, right? And so I allowed myself to be fully present and didn't even compare because we get a very layered, I mean, we get a very surface layer history of Africa itself, right? And when we say Africa, we're like Africa, right? But there's Ghana, there's Ivory Coast, there's Nigeria. There's so many segments, and there's so much education when it comes to each different country itself, right? So
And
we
it's
tend to
always
even in
important
America
for
lump it
people
all
to
together.
yes, yes. It's and that's what I was gonna say. It's always important for people, Americans, to understand Africa is a continent.
And
It's not
it's
a country.
yes, it's not a
So it
country.
being a continent, these places that you hear of, Nigeria,
Hmm.
Tanzania, Ghana,
Yes,
Sudan, Egypt,
yes,
these are
right.
countries,
Yep.
right? And some of these countries are larger than America, right?
Yes,
So when
yes.
you're dealing with Africa from a country perspective, you're not necessarily dealing with different types of people,
Mhm.
but
Right.
you're dealing with larger land masses.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. And so that was a truth in itself. It's just like understanding that these worlds are so much bigger than just the term Africa, right? There's so many cultural differences within each one. I think at one point someone said that there was over 100 some different languages. It was
Mhm.
just so like overwhelmingly like eye-opening, like, okay. Um, but the truth is just, for me, number one, just knowing that our people are just strong, right? That our people came, they fought, like you just touched on, right? Like we just didn't like give up and was like, okay, come take us and all that stuff. There was there was a war, there was a battle, right? So there was a level of perseverance um, that people don't understand that took place when it came to the castles. So I really just appreciated learning the details and the facts behind the true start of it all, right? And
Hmm.
so coming in and just being educated on that, um, the truths about just religion itself, right? You are in a room, right? On the bottom, that's where they kept the slaves. They would open a small hole, right?
Hmm.
And then they would have church on top of it. The original church was on top of the room so that the slaves could hear it and so that they could be indoctrinated to understand this, this man-made religion that just trying to take their minds, right? And so the truth is that it was happening as they were being enslaved and captivated, right, and
Yeah.
tortured and raped, all those things. And so those original rooms there, women being raped, I mean, the little small room that they would take the women to, it was all just a lot. It was a lot, but it was all the heavy information that we needed to really understand that our people did go through a lot. There's
Yes.
no way that they can erase this. For them to say that the Atlantic slave trade was not the most horrific event in world history is is mind blowing. But until you go see it and witness it and
Yes.
feel it, you may not have a true understanding, right? Um, I was also I was also appreciative of the other cultures that were there too, right? Yeah, come learn and see this.
Yes.
Come see what your people did, right?
Yes. Yes.
And so
And
that was like, wow, they are really here learning this. And I think that's the beginning of the awareness that needs to take place when it comes to unconscious bias, is that
yes.
you need to go and have your own sense of awareness. And so I was
Yes.
really appreciative of all the cultures coming to witness it too. Like not only just us, and we need to, but others as well.
And back to that programming and indoctrination piece, I think it all kind of meshes together, right? So as another culture being able to see, wait a minute,
Yeah, it's crazy.
not only did this happen this way, but this is
Mhm.
where, or this is the origin place of some of the things that I've even been taught
Yep,
in, my
yep,
culture.
yep.
And that was one of the main things that really just took me back my very first time going to Cape Coast,
Hmm.
seeing that door.
Yeah,
So, like, you mean to tell me that we're down in this hole,
yeah.
in this box, like you said,
It's a box,
with no light.
no light.
And the only light we get is once a week
Hmm.
when you take the ceiling off of this hole that we're in, and
Getting
that
chills just
ceiling
thinking
is
about
the literal floor
it. Hmm.
outside the door of the
Yep.
church.
Yeah. But
So
go back to
you're
what you said about community, though, Terry. Like you have hundreds of people in a box, right?
Mhm.
How do you survive each other?
Yes.
We all we
Yes.
got,
Yes.
right? Like
Yes.
the community started in the beginning,
Yes.
and that was another truth that you become crazy aware of. The chief spoke about it. You can feel it when you're there and all the things, but community has it's ancestral.
Yes.
Our
Yes.
community and that
Yeah.
whole like, yeah, blood is thick and we all we got, and family, baby, you feel it when you're in that box.
Yes. Like we are innately communal people,
Yes,
right? And
yes,
community doesn't necessarily mean, I want to be around a group of people 24/7,
yes,
but it's understanding that you are literally one drop
yeah,
of the larger pool of this
Hmm.
collective, right?
Yes.
And in order for us to be the larger pool, we need your drop,
Yep.
you need my drop,
Yes.
and that's what creates that connectivity. Like I really like that
Hmm.
point where, we were able to get through the dungeon because of community.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yep.
really powerful. Like we were
And
able to
just
get
thinking
through the dungeon
about,
because of community.
oh yeah, yeah. And the mentality of like, you can't break us. You
Yes.
you may break one here, there, but as a community,
Yes.
you're
As a
unable to
community.
break us.
Yes.
You can't break us if we're tied together. And I just imagine them being locked in that box, holding each other
Yes.
and pulling each other up. When somebody's weak or down, that man, it was so deeply felt. And it's just like, this is why we're so strong. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah,
Even as
magical.
far back as the dynastic era, right?
Hmm.
Before other genotypes had even come to full form of, humanity.
Yeah.
Even during the dynastic era, we literally had a communal system.
Hmm.
These group of people were the people who were responsible for this. These group of people were the group of people who were responsible for this.
Yes.
So if the planters were responsible for planting, the
Mm.
people who were tilling the dirt were responsible for tilling the dirt. Like we literally had a system where, okay, the six of y'all come through and till,
Yep.
and clockwork, we know to come and throw the seeds. Okay,
Yes.
now we know to come and add a little water. We know now when harvest time comes, according to the moon, when to pick this.
Yep.
So that communal system
Hmm.
wasn't only just community, it was structure and community.
Boy, you
And
better shut
when
up
we
talking because I literally was talking to a friend about this the other day. I said the reason why even just our community here where I live is so dismantled is because nobody wants to play their part,
yes,
right? Everybody is, I'm doing this over here, I'm doing this over here. Or they're doing things that they're not good at and they're forcing themselves in areas and things like that. And it's just like, you have to know your role. And this is what brings us
yes,
together as a community. You're the voice, you're the doer, you're the planner, and if you do that as a collective, knowing your role and being okay with that, that's what makes us stronger as a community.
yes.
Like,
Yeah,
and
I
that's
totally agree.
gone. You know what I mean? So I was just
So
like,
and I guess we're still on the castles. So from your experience in El Minor Castle and Cape Coast Castle, and then returning back to the States,
mm,
what were some of the differences that you saw in us as people in comparison to Ghana,
yeah.
outside of the communal sense?
Yeah, I think the communal, I came back and felt like that whole phrase of, just being woke, right? I
Hmm.
think a part of us being woke is that awareness and that sense of pride that comes with that understanding too, like your roots. And so I just felt like, man, if only we get more people to go visit. And now they're welcome. They're like, my brother, my sister, where you been? What took you so long? You're like, it cost too much. You know what
It
I'm
costs too
saying?
much
Do
to
it all
come
the
up
time.
in here.
You know,
Y'all be on y'all
it
money.
is
You
cheap.
Ghanaians, let's
It is
just talk
not,
to some of you Ghanaians. Because a few of y'all are my homies, but we gotta keep it a bean. Now, Nigeria, we already know what's up with Nigeria. We know they're gonna tax you. That's just the vibes. But we be coming, Black Americans be coming to Ghana, y'all be taxing. And then I've been
yeah.
learning tree, right? So I come to find out some of y'all be taxing the quote unquote Black Americans where you will charge a overage of 500 CDs to 1,000 CDs more from a Black. Don't do that. Don't do that
Yeah.
because he really be
Yeah.
trying to come in and,
Yeah. Yeah.
what y'all be taxing. Ghanaians like y'all be taxing, and the exchange rate is beautiful for an
Hmm.
American, but y'all still be taxing on that.
Yeah.
I got a little
Yeah.
suit made, a little situation made.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, okay, I'm gonna drop about 5 to 700 CDs.
Yeah.
That's low key under $100. My man hit me with the, oh, this is 2000.
To answer the question about just coming back home, I just felt people were asleep. Like I felt like when people say that they're cultured and they're woke and stuff, and it's just like the American woke. It's like,
Hmm.
yeah, you're pro-black and you're maybe an activist and you're fighting for African American rights in our communities and things like that. And but you're doing it from an American perspective. And I
Yes.
think that your perspective broadens if we go back. And
Yes.
one of the tour guides, he talked about just the need for more Black Americans to come over and do business there. Come over and build houses, build homes, build up. And I think he said it was just like it would only take a small amount of Americans to come over to really change the economic structure
Hmm.
within Ghana. And I was
Hmm.
just like, what? A tiny fraction of African Americans, right? That's all they would need. And so I'm like, dang, that's crazy. So I think that the opportunities, the lack of education when it comes to opportunities, the lack of education about the true history.
Hmm.
So I was just kind of saddened. I was kind of sad. Not kind of, I was sad. I was sad because I felt like almost cheated,
Hmm.
out of these opportunities. Number one, we were indoctrinated. Like I was indoctrinated growing up, not knowing all the things until you take accountability of your own education and you begin to
Yes.
learn stuff for yourself and go out and being intentional about your learning about your history and all these things. So yeah, there was just like a sadness, and I think that's really what empowered me to want to take people over, even from a nonprofit perspective. It's like, yes, I want to serve because that's my heart, but I also want you guys to
Yes.
see, to open that
Yes.
up, right? So um, that's pretty much how I felt, and I think that's what's been my biggest driver as well. It's like, okay, yeah, you just got to go see for yourself.
Yes. Yes. It is important to, like, we can have these conversations over and over again, but it is important to see for
Hmm.
yourself, because seeing for yourself also involves
Yeah.
the feeling for yourself.
Hmm.
And like I
Hmm.
said, you can't replicate that feeling. You can only feel that once you step into that
Yes.
millionaire.
Yeah.
Um, and I like what you said about the indoctrination piece, because African American people are for sure a different people than West Africans, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Based on mixes and cultural mixes with other cultures. But when I hear people say or make the very stupid comment that I'm black, I'm African American, or we won't say African American, I'm black, and my people are from America, where do you think they came from? Do you really think, and that's one of the questions
Hmm.
that the trip to West Africa answers.
Yeah.
Because if you leave from America as, a black American
Yeah.
with the perception that I don't have no African in me,
Mm.
and you get over there and you see the lady in the market that look just like your auntie Regina,
Maybe.
or you
Maybe.
see the dude riding in one of the cars that literally looks just like your grandfather,
Yeah. Yep.
it does something to your
Yeah.
conscious awareness
Hmm.
where it automatically dissolves that bubble of I'm not
Yeah.
African.
Yep. But they also see you, right? When you get there,
Mhm.
they see you. Number one, you don't feel like the minority there. That was
Mhm.
an overwhelming blessing, right? When you get there, there's a proud, I'm here. These are my people, right? And for me, I didn't grow up in a predominantly, Atlanta area where all I'm seeing is my people, right? And so for
Mhm.
me, coming from a very diverse community, and I'm a world traveler too. Like I've been all over, but you don't go to places when you go to places around the world, you still feel like the minority
Mhm.
instead of the majority, right? The majority feels good. It
Yes.
feels good. And they see you. Are you a part of da 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 tribe?
Yes.
Am
Yes. Yes.
I? Like, are you? No, you're that. You are this. I've been a few different cultures. For even when I came back from America, people saw me and they're like, "Oh, da 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 da." I'm like, "Huh?" They're speaking their language, and I'm like, "I
Hmm.
don't understand." Things like, "But you are, you're Ethiopian, or you're this, or you're from that tribe," and I'm like, "Am I?" You know what I'm saying?
And
Open my eyes. You know what? I really got to get.
before the whole transatlantic slave trade debacle, right? Or I'm gonna say pre 1492. We'll
Mm,
go back further. It wasn't all of this that we have in America where my mother is half German and 25% Yugoslavian, and my father is half Indian and then half gray Indian. No, no, there weren't any labels on
mm-hmm.
race because the concept of race hadn't even been invented.
Yeah.
It was strictly based on genetics. And
Yes.
one of the main ways that they classified genetics was by how you looked.
Features. Oh,
So when you're dealing with the African continent, that's one of the beautiful things that I learned my first time was, like you said, we see them, but they see
mm-hmm.
you. And
Yep.
they have all of the foreknowledge of these tribes or these groups
Yeah.
of people that they
Yes.
can see in you by your features, which
And
is
it
one of the
wasn't even.
reasons why in history that they shot the noses off of the
Yeah.
Sphinx, right?
Yep. Yep.
Because Africans were identified by broad nose and thick
Mm-hmm.
lips.
Yep.
So, in order to attempt to suppress history from
Mm-hmm.
making Kemet Egypt, they tried to take the black out of it. But the
Yeah.
black wasn't only the skin, it
Yeah.
was the features.
Features. And also just there's a spiritual awareness of it too, with your
Yes.
aura and who you are. So just by meeting you, they'll say, you know what, you were a part of this tribe based off your how you are as a person, your
Yes.
personality and stuff. You should go look up this tribe, right? And I'm like, okay, I was a warrior and stuff, like just based off my aura, just and being around them, for the week. And I had a few people say that, like, oh, you should go check out this specific woman tribe, or
Mhm.
you want to check into this. And so they're just so deeply connected in that way. And it was just like, wow, okay. But yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome.
It's a natural connection. That or I'll say a natural connection or innate connection that they have that's just inherent because they're on
Yeah.
that landmass. So if you enjoyed this content and you'd like to see more of it, hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope to see you again.